Hi folks, we are Sophie and Philippe, two professional chefs and regenerative farmers. Currently, we're setting up our second regenerative farm in central Portugal, where we grow food for our local community and share our knowledge both on the land and in the kitchen. On this channel, we take you along on the farm's development and we show you how we grow, cook and preserve nutrient-dense, regeneratively grown, delicious food. In a time where the food we're eating is literally killing us, the most powerful and impactful action one could take is to consume nutrient-dense, regeneratively grown, clean food. Let's grow it, let's cook it, let's do it. Hi folks, and welcome back to our channel. In today's episode we will be visiting yet another wonderful farm project, this time in Mangualde in the Viseu area. We are visiting Quinta do Minho. I'm very excited to share that experience with you. In the second part of our episode we'll be taking you back to our farm and we'll be showing you what we've done here, give you a little nursery update, some animal updates, and then of course, last but not least, we are the farming chefs. We're gonna get into that kitchen and cook something. But for now, let's go visit Quinta do Minho. Here we come. Oh yeah, PS, before we get going, I just wanted to thank everybody for the very positive feedback and comments we've been getting on this farm series. It's been a joy going to all these places and sharing that experience with you, and it's very rewarding to know that it's resonating. So thank you very much for your support, and to all those new subscribers, follow us along and we hope that we will do you proud. Our drive to Mangualde was simple and fast. We only had to make sure we were on the right track when we drove the last 5 minutes on a small winding road through the woods. This was not an easy access road, but we arrived safely and were greeted by Raquel. We marveled at their spectacular view overlooking the downriver, and she then took us along to take a look at the farm. The farm is situated on a hillside and consists of 10 hectares, of which many are terraces. These terraces are very impressive and definitely over 100 years old. This was needed back in the day to cultivate the land, as this hill itself is a giant granite rock.
Olá, sou Raquel, sou agricultora na Quinta do Minho, em Mangualde, Viseu. Produzimos hortícolas e frutícolas, principalmente mirtilo, e fazemos agricultura biológica e regenerativa. E não sei o que posso dizer mais. Bom, o nosso contexto eu acho que é agricultura familiar, de pequena escala. E depois nós estamos num clima de montanha, mediterrâneo, em que os invernos são muito frios e chuvosos e úmidos, e os verões são muito quentes e muito secos. Bom, nós tínhamos um ateliê e antes de virmos comprarmos a quinta e de virmos para esta zona, morávamos no Porto e queríamos muito não ser agricultores, mas estar perto da natureza, viver no campo. Pronto, era esse o objetivo, e a ideia nunca foi sermos agricultores, era mais sermos homesteaders, porque éramos trabalhadores independentes, né? Trabalhávamos por conta própria e o trabalho que tínhamos dava-nos margem para explorarmos outras coisas. E também queríamos muito fazer coisas, queríamos construir, queríamos, pronto...
Usar as mãos.
Exatamente, usar as mãos. E só depois então, quando nós viemos para aqui, é que começámos a perceber que para tomar conta do terreno, desta área, precisávamos ter uma abordagem mais agrícola e precisávamos de estar mais presentes aqui, e que não dava para ser uma coisa de gente tenho um part-time e depois venho aqui ao fim de semana, porque a área realmente não permitia essa abordagem. Mas pronto, depois uma coisa foi levando à outra. Quando começámos a fazer realmente hortícolas, começámos a ter excedentes e depois começámos a querer canalizar esses excedentes. Sim. E depois foi de uma maneira assim muito orgânica, através dessa gestão, que nós fomos percebendo que, ok, há a procura dos hortícolas. Então começámos a crescer a operação até mais ou menos o ano passado, em que, assim, de uma forma quase involuntária, percebemos que estávamos a trabalhar a 100%.
Currently, Quinta do Arminho is selling approximately 25 shares of vegetables per week. Part of the box they grow themselves, and other items are sourced from other local organic growers. They work on a trust-based system, as payments are done weekly and not upfront. They understood that the local potential to pay upfront was not there, and they also liked the freedom it brought to both ends, as it permitted them during the setting up phase to sometimes be able to not provide a weekly box without disappointing their customers. Besides the vegetables, Raquel and João also have a blueberry plantation on the farm, which they financed with a European subsidy in 2019.
Temos a área que a plantação de mirtilo ocupa é de 1 hectare e 3.000 metros quadrados. A abordagem aqui era nós termos nesta zona tipo um cash crop. O resultado não foi muito esse, porque depois nós começámos a perceber como é que funcionava a estrutura do mercado e isso tudo, e depois percebemos que existe uma dependência muito grande na parte do escoamento, ou seja, nós estamos muito dependentes do retalho e que naquela altura em que estamos em produção, o retalho tem basicamente a faca e o queijo na mão.
Sim.
E o que aconteceu no ano em que nós começámos a produzir a sério foi que os preços desceram mesmo por lá abaixo, mas nós começámos a perceber que, ok, é uma coisa que nós queremos continuar a fazer, mas numa escala diferente. Queremos manter, mas numa escala em que nos dá algum conforto para nós conseguirmos escoar localmente, escoar através da nossa CSA e ter também margem para fazer U-Pick ou outras abordagens que nos beneficiem mais a nós e não ao retalho, que é aquilo que acaba por acontecer nessa lógica de mercado.
At Quinta do Arminho, they use their animals to maintain spaces on the farm.
Nós temos esta raça de porcos kunekune, que é uma raça originária da Nova Zelândia. Nós trouxemos aqui para Portugal e fomos das primeiras pessoas a trazer. São animais mais propícios a pastagens, ou seja, não fuçam tanto o solo. E nós não queríamos, nós temos este sistema de pastoreio rotativo e não queríamos que o solo fosse mobilizado cada vez que eles passam, ou seja, não queríamos estar a andar a tapar buracos, nem que eles revolvessem o solo. Então eles comem a erva de uma maneira que é muito mais semelhante a um herbívoro do que a um porco comum, e também conseguem fazer uma dieta que é muito mais rica em fibra do que os porcos comuns e do que as raças que nós temos aqui. Todos os anos, não é? Normalmente na primavera e no outono, temos ninhadas e estas ninhadas acabam também por ser um rendimento que nós tiramos deles para fornecermos quintas que também querem trabalhar com esta raça. Nós aqui na Quinta sempre trabalhamos com um galinheiro móvel, nunca tivemos um galinheiro fixo. A estrutura é toda soldada em ferro e aqui dentro tem uma rede quadrada. É o grande segredo do galinheiro móvel, porque é aquilo que permite que o estrume caia.
The dropping of the feces helps fertilize the pastures and improve the farm's overall fertility. The eggs get used in the box, and so the chickens serve 3 purposes at once. They clean, fertilize, and provide the farm with eggs.
Cultivar é todo o processo que está antes de colher o fruto, e encontrar prazer e felicidade nesse processo, nos processos naturais, acho que é a mensagem que está por trás disto tudo.
Good message. I like it. After this wise message, we had some fun looking at the farm from above, and then it was already time to say goodbye. And that concludes our little part about Quinta do Arminho. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. It was very impressive, we found, especially with such a difficult access road, how they got that entire infrastructure going. All in all, great experience. If you want to go out and check out their socials, I'll leave a link below. And then now, Onto our farm, Philippe will take it away.
At the beginning of the week, Sophie and I harvested our 2 rows of garlic. They were medium size, both white and red bulbs. The bulbs stayed on the ground for 1 day before I took them away and cut off the roots and the stems. Over the years, we have treated the garlic heads in many ways, and we find it easy to cut off both the roots and the stem early on when they are still easy to cut. We then let them cure in the shade for a couple of weeks before we string them on ropes to hang. Today we're gonna have a very busy day in the farm. We're gonna plant aubergines, we're gonna plant peppers, we're gonna plant hot peppers, jalapenos, we're gonna plant cayennes, we're gonna plant okras. These aubergines, they look amazing. They're super grown, there's flowers already. The only problem is that we didn't transplant them yet, and we didn't transplant them because I had the garlics on the beds where this goes. So we harvested the garlics 2 days ago. They're very healthy plants. We're gonna take them out with most of the roots that we can, and we'll take them along with it. Let's start digging and bury all these plants. This is how big the root mass is.
The aubergines and peppers came out of the ground very easy, but a transplant of this size is not advised. In an ideal setup, we would have transplanted earlier, but the garlics were not ready yet. We watered them heavily, and this is what they look like 2 days later. Then it was time for the bell peppers. Peppers and carrots are great companions, as peppers repel carrot fly and carrots repel whitefly. These also could have been planted a bit sooner at a slightly smaller size. Some carrots needed to make way for the peppers, but that's okay, we will enjoy those later. Another great companion plant is basil for tomatoes. These repel all sorts of pests that are drawn to tomatoes, such as hornworms and whitefly. Every year I make a selection of different basil types to interplant. This year we have Greek basil, lemon basil and normal basil.
Just did the basils between the tomatoes. Now I'm gonna harvest these onions and I'm gonna plant the okras between the fennels.
We then decided to harvest 1 bed of potatoes. It is early, but we are dealing with alternaria fungus again. This fungus unfortunately is present here, and we thought changing location might be enough to escape it this year. But alas, it did not work out that way. This fungus likes humid conditions, and that is why next year we will be planting them later on, hoping for more favorable weather conditions, preventing the fungus from setting in once more. The downside of that approach is that we'll need more water for irrigation, which of course here in central Portugal is a true scarcity. After all that planting in the sun, it was time for some quiet time and I decided to install the cat hotel. This is the new nesting area for our cat who just had kittens. It was getting a little rowdy inside of the house. The kittens are now able to open their eyes and are starting to play with one another. Our cat is a great mom, so the nest looks happy and healthy. What more is there to say? Alright folks, so we harvested these carrots yesterday. I'm gonna make some lunch today with them. First I'm gonna clean them and we're going to also be using some green fresh onions. If you grow your own food, you know that sometimes your recipes are just inspired by what you need to get rid of, and today we're going to be using a lot of carrots and a lot of green onion. First things first, let's clean these carrots and let's clean these onions. These green onions actually bolted prematurely. They were planted in between on a bed and sort of forgotten there for a while. So they needed to get out. They're still edible, but they won't store. So we're gonna use them today. And that is what this recipe is about. Let's go. Herb salt and the green onions. Needs a little bit more salt. It's nice and salty, it's creamy, it tastes like sweet onion. What we're gonna add now is the eggs, and then we're going to put a little lid on top or a cartouche and let that simmer for about 4 to 5 minutes, and then voila, done. We'll cover this for about 4 to 6 minutes. What we want is a runny yolk and a set white part. In the meantime, what we'll do is we'll quickly make our little salad. I'm going to take a quick lemon. Add a bit of salt. And a quick mix. wonder what his motives are for wanting to leave that job. Maybe he's just sick of it. Alright guys, we're full. We're gonna have a little coffee. We're gonna conclude this episode. We hope that you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget that you can find the full recipes on our website. And if you want some more fun stuff that is going to be coming soon, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and also for those diehards out there, don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter. I'll leave all the links below. See you next week, the Farming Chefs. Peace out. Yeah?
Peace out.
Peace out.